Hey everybody, this is Phil from Mr. Phil's AlabamaHotSauce.com. That's AlabamaHotSauce.com on the web. I'm standing out here overlooking the beautiful Tennessee River, and today we're going to do some prep work for some garlic additives to some hot sauce. I'm going to give you garlic fermented 2 ways. So let's join me in the kitchen and I'll see you in just a minute. Thank you. All right, everybody, this is Mr. Phil. I'm back in the kitchen. I'm wearing my sauce boss apron that my grandson gave me for Christmas. And today we're going to ferment some garlic. And it's going to be absolutely delicious. Garlic is a critical ingredient in many hot sauces. I really like to use it. I love garlic, and I love it several different ways. Today we're going to ferment it 2 different ways. We're going to do a garlic ferment in honey. Then we're going to do a garlic ferment in saline solution. So what we got here is I got a whole plate of garlic. I could have waited and peeled it in front of you, but I don't think you'd enjoy that 45-minute exercise. I've got a little cup of carrots. I'll explain what they're for in just a minute. I got some local honey, and I got a mixture of 3% saline solution. Now, I've got 2-quart jars here. They have been washed, they have been sanitized, but before we use them, I'm going to use some Star Stand spray, and I'm going to completely make these things inert. Now this stuff is not harmful to you. You can drink it if you need to. I wouldn't suggest it, but what it does is it absolutely kills everything in it, and it completely sterilizes these jars. All you have to do when you go to use them is shake out the loose stuff, and we're going to go to putting in the garlic. Now, I've washed my hands over and over. Sanitation is extremely important when you're doing ferments. So, we're going to just pile this garlic in the jar there. Fill it up really good. Oh man, garlic smells so good. It smells so delicious. But I'm telling you, if you think this is good, you just wait until you taste garlic fermented in honey. Now we'll fill the second jar up. Now in this jar, I'm going to put about 50 grams of carrots. This is going to be the jar that we use the saline solution. And I'll explain to you in just a minute why we put the carrots in there. All right. Oh, this is just looking so good. I got to step off the camera 1 second, get a little bit more garlic. All right, I'm back. I had a little more peel back there, so let's get this jar getting full. Now, we're going to take the first jar, and I'm going to take local honey, and I'm going to fill this jar up until the honey covers the top of the garlic. Oh, doesn't that look good? You can see it running down around those garlic. Oh, this looks great. Now, while I let that settle a little bit and sink in, I'm going to go to this other jar. Now, honey has a pH of anywhere from about 3.2 up to 5.6, depending on where it's harvested and where the bees got their nectar. Here locally in North Alabama, honey tends to be quite acidic. As a matter of fact, this honey is about 3.4 pH. In addition to that, it's just absolutely loaded with sugar. So what we're going to do in the honey jar, we're going to have plenty of sugar, plenty of acidity, and so we're going to have a great ferment in here. There's enough sugar in that honey to completely feed this thing. And in about 3 weeks, this is going to be the best tasting stuff you've ever imagined. Now, in the saline jar, we don't have enough sugar just in the garlic itself. So I put these carrots in there to add some sugar so this ferment can go to work. And we want it to go to work as soon as possible. It would eventually work if we didn't have the carrots in there, but it would take a long time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill this jar of garlic up. It's got the little carrots in it for the sugar content. And we're going to let it sit there just a second. Now we'll fill this honey jar up a little more. Completely covered up. I believe that honey's getting down there pretty good. We're left with a little bit of headspace. Now, what we're going to do, I got sanitized lids. We're going to screw them down pretty tight. Now, the biggest enemy of a ferment is oxygen. What typically happens in a ferment is as the bubbles start rising and the fermentation starts taking place, the gas, the carbon dioxide gas, presses the oxygen out. But for a period of about 2 days, we have a considerable amount of oxygen in the container. And oxygen can result in the growth of calm yeast. Calm yeast is not harmful, but it is ugly. And if you got a lot of it in there, it adds sort of a bitter taste. I prefer really, really clean ferments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little gizmo to suck the oxygen out of this bottle. So what I've done is I've removed the oxygen from this one-way valve, so we don't have to wait a couple of days for the carbon dioxide to press the oxygen that's in the headspace out. I'll do the same thing on the honey jar. And this is known as vacuum fermentation. So what we got here now is we got one jar of a few carrots and some a whole lot of garlic in 3% saline solution. Then we got a jar of garlic covered in pure North Alabama honey. So what we'll do is we'll let these things sit here for about 3 weeks. They'll be delicious when they come out. They'll have a radically different taste. The garlic alone fermented in saline is going to have a taste that's like garlic but a little milder and a little more tang to it. This honey garlic is going to be sweet, it's going to be soft, it's going to be tangy, it's going to have a lot of effervescence, and either one of these added to hot sauce makes a gigantic difference. Once we open these, we'll do it on a blending day and I'll show you how we use these things. Now, I appreciate you joining me. Remember, always clean, always sterilize, always sanitize. Fermentation is great. Fermentation is great. It's a lot of fun and it's delicious. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.